So first of all, let me thank our distinguished guests and speakers who highly spare your time for this monthly forum. The VFC Thai and the Thai Estate, Thai Appraisal and Estate Agent Foundation host this monthly forum to know how to own properties by foreigners in other countries apart from Thailand. But actually, I will say something about Thailand as well, but maybe later. But according to this program, we have speakers from different countries. So let me just show you the schedule. เฮ้ยนี่ดูได้หรือเปล่าหน้าจอหน้าจอไม่ขึ้นไหนเลยมันทำยังไงเนี่ย So it is now I have another 5 minutes to go. Yes. So this is the this is our schedule for today. I just do some introduction, and then Madam Miss Lily Chang, President of VFC Taiwan, will speak for 20 minutes, and then some Q&A for 10 minutes. And you may kindly stay, or if there is any things to do, maybe you can leave at any time. But you are welcome to join us. And then Mr. Farooq Mahmood, President of VFC India, so President, our world president in 2017, 2018, and then Bapak Budiasa, President of VFC Indonesia, from Indonesia, and he is also re-elected very soon. I mean, maybe a few days ago, to be the president of VFC Indonesia. So congratulations. And Mr. Jandi Man, the president of Premier Group of Cambodia. Actually, I thought he is the president of VFC Cambodia already, but still not yet. But maybe next time in the near future. And Mr. Chu Chat, Myanmar Thai Business Association, Mr. Chavis, CEO of Vietsan Infrastructure Development, and Dr. Sai Ong Kwa, Vice President of Myanmar Real Estate Service Association, and also President of Myanmar Real Estate Association at Chan State, in Chan State. And then just closing the forum. So this is what will be happening in the near future. Now it is 7 minutes past 3 already. I have another 3 minutes to go. So until today, for coronavirus or COVID-19, we have 91 million already, and the death is 1.9 million. So sad. But already 65 million already recovered, and the death rate is around 3%. So this is what happening in the case. But one thing you should know is that right now there may be more infection, but less death. Less death. In the past, you can see in April, so many people pass away. But right now, so many people infected, but not many people pass away. So everything should be better in the near future. And for the whole year of 2020, COVID-19 killed 1.7 million, but cancer maybe around 8 million, and smoking 4.9 million, and alcohol 2.5 million. So this is what happened in the last year. And in the sub-Sahara area, what you can see is that maybe people die because of malaria, 400,000 people, but by COVID-19 maybe only 30,000. So this is not many in sub-Sahara area. And in Thailand, as you can see that now there are many cases.
Device is
In
ready
Malaysia
to
also so
sell.
many cases, new cases, and also in Indonesia and many other countries like in Thailand. But the death rate are really low. During the past few weeks, another 7 people passed away, but maybe around 5,000 more people infected. So by proportion, the situation is not as serious as we expect. So this is some introduction. Now it is 10 minutes past 1 already. So it will be the turn of Madam Chang to say something about COVID-19. Madam Lily Chang, the president of VFC Taiwan, and she is very kind to us, particularly to me as well, because he hosts a lot of VFC Taiwan award ceremony, and we join them and also visit her castle, her big house in the past as well. So today it is a really honor for her to kindly join our forum. So let me just pass to Madam Lily Chang. You can do your presentation as well. So from now 1 o'clock, 10 minutes past 1 to 20 minutes to 2, please, Madam.
Okay, thank you, Sapong. And hello, everybody. I will switch my screen.
Bluetooth mode.
Okay. I would like to say it's my pleasure, to be invited to join this today's forum. And I've been
วันนี้
requested.
มาอีก 1 วันสวัสดีค่ะวันนี้ค่ะเป็นทริปพิเศษวันนี้มาอีก 1
Is there somebody have the microphone on? Sapong? Can I start my presentation? Excuse me, is everybody hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay,
Yes,
so I can
very
start
loud
my
and clear.
presentation.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I can start my presentation. Okay.
Please.
Okay. Again, I say I really so appreciate being invited to join this forum and to share the investment in Taiwan, the real estate policy. And I have to admit, I am the real estate developers for 32 years. And my projects concentrate on the residentials. So if I would like to share the Taiwan real estate policies, financing, and the product category, I really need to do some research. And really, I'm really thankful, our board members, and also one of the members, Victor, who helped me out for this kind of presentation. So I'm gonna show you, the discussion on the foreign investment in Taiwan real estate policy. And this page is showing the focus on the option for the immigrating to Taiwan, which are investment in setting up a company, investment of US 200,000, and self-employment.
Really, I think the screen, you have not shared the screen.
The screen share already. The screen didn't
But
share. Okay.
Not on my screen. Anybody else?
Not on my screen as well. Only the
Okay,
schedule.
then let me see again. Let me
Mine
see.
too.
Okay, I have to shut off here. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Let me try it again. Okay. Did you see the screen yet?
Now we see your screen.
So you
Yes,
see the
now we can see. Yes, yes.
I just have reset. Okay. So this
No,
page is
I see just a man sitting in front of the laptop.
is it joke? Okay,
Really,
let me
I didn't see
continue.
the screen. No,
you
no
see the
worry. Move on.
Okay. Just would like to show you, this pages is for the option for the immigrating to Taiwan, and which is are the investment in setting up a company which have to invest 200,000, and self-employment will be invest of we call it NT dollars for 500,000 NT, which equivalent like 17,000 US dollars. Okay, to setting up a company or foreign branch. Then applying for employment or being a representative of an officer. Then the foreign investment region, Taiwan's regulation on foreign direct investment primarily derived the status for investment by foreign national and the status for the investment by overseas Chinese. In accordance, you can see this page. In accordance with this law, the foreign investor are required to obtain approval from the Investment Commission of the Minister of Economic Affairs. So the Central Regulator Authority for the foreign investment matter before the proceeding with the business registration, the foreign investment in an expert position zone or a science park approval by the relevant administration agents. So we come to the corporate taxation. Having set up a company as your investment in Taiwan, you will need to pay a variety of taxes, including the value add tax. We call it VAT. Okay, the company income tax and the personal income tax. Okay, then the VAT is normally tax rates for 5% of the for the business in general. Okay, and then 0 for the goods export, whatever overseas, and then company income tax. The tax rate normally is 20%, and time for filing is every year in May. And tax on the company distribute profit is for Taiwanese tax residents. The tax should be incorporated into your personal income tax and filing to every year, okay, next year. For the non-Taiwanese tax residents, 21% should be withheld to be billed within 10 days. Okay. For the branch company of the foreign company, not required to pay tax. Okay. And the company profile not dispute additional tax of 5%. And also if we're talking about the real estate, we share the personal taxation. The personal income tax will be for tax residents will be charged in from 5%, 12%, 20%, 30% to 40%. And time for filing is every year, the May, have to fill in the tax report. Okay. And for the non-tax residents, foreigners stay in Taiwan or less than 183 days in a fiscal years, and tax rate will be from 6% or 18% of salary. And 21% of dividends and 20% of other income. Time for filing within 10 days. Okay. And the land and the property tax.
น้องศิวกรแล้วผมควรจะใช้เครื่องนี้พูดดีกว่าไหม
Sapong, your voice is on. Sapong? Sapong.
Yes.
Your
Can you-
voice is on, interrupting me. I don't know how can I do the report. Can you unmute it?
Yes.
Sorry, please.
Sorry.
Sorry. I thought if somebody have question, I have to stop myself and then to listen what it's saying. Thank you. Butiasa, I saw you smile, okay, and Kenji, I see you smile too. Can I continue? Shake your hand.
Yes, please.
Can I continue my report? Okay. So the land value tax, LVT, is imposed on a taxpayer. Total land that has been assigned a land value by the relevant local government authority. So this you can see the rate ranging from 1% to 5.5%. We do have a special rate depending on the use of the land. Okay, and house tax. Well, the house tax is charged on all buildings in Taiwan at various rates. Okay, depending on their classifications. So it is levied annually on the assessed value of the property at a rate of 1.2% to 3.6% for residential property and 3 to 5% for the commercial buildings. Okay, so the land value increment tax, the sales of land in Taiwan is currently subject to land value increment tax. It is levied on the increases in the government assessed value of the land during the ownership period, just to for the inflation. Okay, so a regular progressive rate ranging from the 20% to 40%, or at a special rate of 10%. So real property transfer tax, that is a separate tax region, was introduced in 2016 to government capital. This one, I have to spread, especially I have to point out is that recently we've been talking about for a long time, because our government keep talking about the living justice, because a lot of Taiwanese people invest the property, even the residential property, only just for investor, not really for living. So for people, some of them, if they're rich enough, they can own 3, 4, 5 units instead of just for living only. So that is why we've been talking for so many years and keep talking about living justice. We have to give you the heavy rates. And so that is why have this kind of very new policy to set up. Okay, so when it is called 2016, the government starting to this policy, but we really feel effect to the market is only recent 2 years. Okay, so within this, the tax rate for non-residents held no more than a year, we will charge the tax 45%. That is a lot. Everything you gain, you have to pay 45% when you own the property for less a year, and if more than a year, they still charge you 35%. So real property
gain, right, Ms. Lily?
The old tax treatment of gain on the property sales still apply to properties for the period to the 2014 January 2. That is a line, we cut it the 9 level, for these states. And then in the beginning, before and after, we do have different rating for the real property transfer tax. So the other dig tax, okay, in addition, a dig tax is levied on the transfer of title to the real estates, except where the land value income tax applied. Okay, now it is based on the government assessed value of the property at rate that range from 2% to 6%. And also we do have stamp tax. I have to say, so sorry, when we're talking about the Taiwan real estate market, it's a good for investment. I really don't think it's really that attractive for people to invest in Taiwan. Probably for some commercial property or some office property. For the standard or the residential, because we have so many tax. I don't know yours, but we have so many tax, even, like stamp tax, the certain types of documents done up in Taiwan are subject to stamp tax. So the tax rate for real estate is 0.1% of the value of contracts for the sales transfer and the subdivisions of real estate. So next, I'm gonna offer the financing information. Regarding the financial information, we use like this kind of this page will show like a Q&A. We will like show you, can a foreign use bank loan to purchase a home, local or overseas bank? So the foreign must have a long-term residence certificate and working experience to make loan assessments. And some banks will require even the national resident in the country as a co-borrower or guarantor. So the general loan, the condition will be strict than the local. Okay, the loan base, the condition will be stricter than the loan locals. So up to how much percent can a buyer use a bank loan based on the value, the purchase price? Generally, the maximum loan percentage for the foreign is 60% of the value of the purchase price. So what is the current interest rate? I don't know yours. Our interest rate is quite low. I don't know Indonesia or the Cambodia, because in Taiwan, our current interest rate normally is between 1.3% to 1.5%, and for the developers to buy to have the loan for constructor, or for the loan for the land, for the developer, they are higher, like no lower than 2%. But the individual one will be only 1.3 to 1.5. And also the financing information, okay, any other fees, okay. I point out the commission, the payable will by the seller for private residential property up to 4%. And then let me see, up to 4%. And then let me check. Okay, and then the payable by the buyer for private residential property will up to 1%, and commission for the commercial property is negotiated. Normally it's between 2 to 4, but depends the volume of the property. So then administration agent fee, similar to the lawyer fee, is each case is about NT dollar 20,000. So that is a little, but still, depend on the negotiate, because if somebody would like to have this land and you need it very, very desperate, so you probably will give them better commission for them to special for you. So escrow fee is for the sales price 0.06% will be the escrow fee, and then buyer pay 50% and seller pay the 50%. So the other guide for the foreign investment in real estate in Taiwan. Okay, we have this kind of information. Is any type of restriction for foreign ownership? The possibility of the foreigner, including the legal persons, acquiring offsetting realty rights depends on whether there is condition of equal and mutual benefit between the country represented by foreign and Taiwan. So then of the foreign description should not be acquired, set with incumbrance or list to foreigners. Okay, and then you can see the forest land is not allowed, and then fisher and hunting ground and sow field, then whatever the sourcing this is not within the foreign ownership can buy it. It's very restriction. And how to buy or sell property. I think this is the one people would like to know is what are the procedure in your country to purchase or sell a property, which means in Taiwan, the general procedure are the contract signing, and then next will be stamping, and then tax paying, and then closing. Normally will take probably 2 months. Within 2 months can finish all the procedure. And then application of the sale should be submitted by the applicant as per general restrictions. Then office of our like central government, after reviewing and finding no mistake by the land officer, and then the reviewing personnel will complete the profile and sent by the municipal country government for approval. So in addition to the report to the MOR, which is the Ministry of Interior, for future reference upon search approval. So a written a notification is also sent to the land office for the processing consequent registration. I have to say sorry, I kind of reading the words because I told you I'm not really familiar about this regulation because I concentrate on my business as a developer, as a residential developers. So for this regulation, I know a little bit, but to translate to English and also for so many special words, I have to forgive me to not doing good. Okay. But application processing time is for this sale and purchase will be normally they say 7 to 14 working days, but for my experience need to be 1 month to nearly 2 months, because including the holiday, still need that time, especially we need the mortgage for the bank loan to approve. It's extra, okay? Then what is the average timeline once a buyer or seller has been secure, okay? So if today a buyer decide to buy the property you are selling, how long does it take to complete this sales? Like same for the like the buying, the sale it will be like buying, but the timeline from the contract signed to closing is around 30 to 40 days. So next page, this page will show you the flow chart. Okay, then this flow chart was showing after the purchase, they need to apply for the registration at the land office, and after the examination and approval, they need to be approved by the country and the municipal government, and then submit to the Ministry of the Interior for records. So, and the Ministry of the Interior will notify the land office for registration. So that is all the you can see the flow chart, that they showed it very clear for this map. So can people of mainland China acquire real estate in Taiwan? I think that is one of the questions sometimes we were facing. Yes, how we do selling the property for mainland China, but however, those who currently hold a position or are a member of a political party, military administrators, administrative or political organizations or group in mainland China should not obtain or establish real estate rights. Okay, that is a very critical situation between Taiwan and China. So we kind of have this kind of requirement. And so the ownership of real estate or land right acquired by the people of mainland China is limited to those that have been registered or used for a residential purpose. And the search and each person is limited to one household and cannot be leased or used for non-residence purpose. Okay. So, and then those people from mainland China who have obtained the ownership of the real estate in Taiwan will not be restricted during their stay in Taiwan and the numbers of time they enter Taiwan. However, they need to be the total stay period per year should not exceed 4 months. So the other thing is that can company of mainland China acquire real estate in Taiwan? So yes, okay, the legal persons, organizations or other institutions in mainland China or mainland mainland China founded company may attempt establish transfer real estate, blah, blah, blah. So the resident where the business personnel life or the plans business permits or the office permits engage in industrial and commercial business operations, other place due to the business needs. Okay, so the other thing is a Q&A is Hong Kong investment, the immigration to Taiwan. We do have basic regulations, and we do fill up for the Hong Kong citizens. But for this one, you can see the invest more than 6 million Taiwan dollars, which is approximately US 210,000 to establish a company or invest in someone else's company's investment in real estate or public market stock in the name of an individual cannot be content. Okay. So Hong Kong investment immigration to Taiwan, we do have a continually for the basic regulation. You can see other regulations, and this all point out, you know, for the Hong Kong people who want to invest and immigrate to Taiwan, have those kind of regulations. So again, you know, the permanent, again, this you can see all the highlights, you know, the permanent residence, the condition, we have so many things. I will leave the information to you, for you to, let me see the time, for you to read it. So if anybody would like to have more interest, even those information you can, you know, you can search for the website. Okay, you can see that. But special regulation for people from other countries to acquire real estate in Taiwan. I would say, you know, I would say you can see from the first point is very, very. For me, it's very new. You know, I didn't know the Singapore and the Filipino are not allowed to acquire house in Taiwan, and the people of Indonesia, Macau, Vietnam, and Myanmar and are not allowed to acquire real estate in Taiwan. And people or legal person of Thailand may obtain land rights in Taiwan for residence or investment purpose. And especially for United States, depend on the regulation of each state. Most of them are unlimited, and a few have special regulations. For example, people in Minnesota are not allowed to acquire farmland in Taiwan. Okay, so that is new for me. I didn't know that until this time when I prepared the information. So the real estate general information, what are the type category of real estate locally? Example, the apartment, condominium, luxury condominium, and most some of them the office and then retail. And this I didn't point out is should we have mixed use shopping mall and hotel should be the good investment too, you know, but didn't add it in. So how many type of the tenant up there? You know the freehold. I can say in Taiwan because we own the land and also own the property. So the tenure in Taiwan is freehold, but we also have the some projects only have probably 60 years or 99 years or 999 years. Who knows? You know, the paperwork goes on and anyway. So this the last one will be do owner have to pay any maintenance fee and so on? Okay, normally yes, the house owner, which you know is the residents, need to pay management fee to the management committee of the buildings. Generally, the management fee is if we call it NT dollars per pin. So I don't know how you convert it. Each pin is 3.305 square meters. So it's like $1 for square meters. $1 US for square meters, you know, for the management fee. So which is quite low. So the other general information I would like to point out is you can see which country you are foreign from. Mostly you can tell it's from the States and Malaysia, USA, and Cayman Island, Japan, Australia, Canada, Singapore. That is the latest one, 2019. Because 2020, I think nobody moved, you know, because of COVID-19. So where do the foreign usually purchase? Mostly, I think more popular will be Taipei City, New Taipei City, and Taoyuan is near the airport, international airport, and Taichung and Kaohsiung. So what type of the property do foreign usually purchase? Residentials is the most, you know, we count it is like 88% residential condominium apartment, and also commercial only have 11% office, and the others only 1%. So I try to control my time. My dear Sapong,
Yes.
I'm really not familiar about the detail, but as the president of Taiwan chapters, I just try to prepare the information for all your audience, you know, to know.
Well, great.
Okay, so I hope the information is good enough. Thank
Yes.
you for your attention.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Anyone would like to ask one question? You can ask only one question now because the time is very limited. Anyone like to ask a question? Maybe you can raise your hand so that you can ask a question, please.
You know, Dr. Sapong,
Yes.
can I say something? Because I told you, I admit I'm really not quite good on these regulations. So I will allow, you know, if any questions can write it down and send it by a message, and I will try to answer from the message. Can we do that? Because the time is up.
Anyone like to ask any question, just write down in the note, and then Madam, you have a look later. So thank you very much, Madam. So let me just move to Mr. Farouk, our previous former president. Thank you very much, Madam. Let's give a
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lily Chang, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So now it is the time for Mr. Farouk, our world president, our former world president, and also president of VFC India. You will have now 20 minutes to say something about your experience, and then you say something about buying properties in India, and my colleagues will do the slideshow for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sopon. Thank you for inviting me over to this wonderful event of yours. And due to the pandemic, We've all been stationed back home, and I think Thailand has also not opened its doors. Can we have the slides on, please? Hello?
You're coming very soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I have the slides, please?
Yeah, it's coming. It is coming. It take a little bit of time.
Not a problem. In the meantime, I will, by the slides, when they come, I'll just give you in a brief who can buy property in India and who can't. And India does not encourage foreigners to buy residential property or invest into residential property. Its main source of buyers, foreigners, or NRIs as they're called, the non-resident Indians, or the PIOs, that's the person of Indian origin. But still, foreigners can buy property by applying to the Reserve Bank of India, that's known as the RBI, on a special permission, which is granted to them on a single window agency. But foreigners are allowed to invest in commercial property, office spaces, shopping malls, hospitality business, hospitals, and any other industrial, logistic parks, everything else except residential property. You must visit the RBI website to
So
access all.
Yes, ready, sir.
Yeah,
Your presentation is
wonderful. So this is what I had to say. Next, please. Yeah. Well, as I bring you greetings from India and from FIAPSI, I hope the year 2021, God willing, is going to be a lot better than 2020. And I'm looking at a very positive outlook. And I pray to God that He keeps us all safe and sound and protects us and gives us good health, happiness, and prosperity in the coming year and the years ahead. Next, please. Investing in I can't see myself in this. Okay, fine. Investing in real estate is a good way to start internationalizing your portfolio and your life. In addition to protecting your wealth and diversifying your assets, it also allows you to earn higher returns and enhances your tax strategy of investing overseas and not keeping all your eggs in one basket. Next, please.
yes. Already next benefit of diversified investment.
Yes, the main benefit of having a diversified investment portfolio is to reduce the risks associated with one type of investment, property or real estate market. The phrase "don't put all your eggs in one basket" perfectly explains this concept, as spreading investment capital across the broad spectrum is how property investors balance risk and reward in their investment portfolio. Next, please. Real estate is global, while the property may be local. The business of real estate is global. That's probably not news to anyone in this room. What many don't think about, however, is that the globalization comes the need to change local attitudes. You need to think in terms of global standards that might differ from local practices. To grow your business globally, you must adopt new ways of thinking and new ways of marketing. Cross-border client referrals are increasingly important to business success locally or globally. Market strategies in emerging markets must align with global needs and best practices of developed markets. Next, please. The face of real estate business is changing. You must have a vision for your global business and also its perspective. Real estate agents need to implement a business plan, clearly define your target audience and marketing strategies. Be a niche market expert. The niche approach is more productive than a mass market approach. It's not feasible to be an expert in the whole world. But remember, you can be an expert in your market to the whole world. This is very, very important. Please, I repeat this again for you to understand. It's not feasible to be an expert in the whole world, but you can be an expert in your market to the whole world. Be a geostrategist, someone who anticipates how world events will impact market activities. Where is the next big new market? What geopolitical events may cause residents to look to put their money elsewhere? Your geostrategist vision must reflect global trends and market realities. Under this particular thing, I would like to state that under this pandemic of this COVID thing that we've gone through, or we're still going through, we have noticed in the Indian markets, a niche market has developed. People have gone in for secondary homes, resorts, farmhouses, beach houses, mountain houses. They want to move away from the cities, closer to nature as possible, with the larger lots of land. People who have been living in 2-bedroom houses are wanting to move into a larger homes. The work from home concept has changed everything at this moment, and people are looking and yearning to buy bigger property so that they can have more breathing space, more living space, and more comfortable in what they're doing. Social media must figure prominently in the business plan to support a global network of agents, crucial in today's marketplace for growing your business globally. All this comes into play when your referral network is active and productive. Next. In global business, your brand is your reputation. You have to manage it with care. Embrace best practices no matter where they come from. You have to shake off any complexes you might have about accepting that someone else has a better plan or a better practice. Learn from others and make it your own plan. Share your information with your network. It'll make everyone stronger. Look for information in return and use this to become more multicultural. The more you understand the world, the stronger you will be in your own market niche and the more referrals you will attract. Next. Next. Referrals are the way forward to a true global business. Leverage your network to increase business from referrals. As the business turns global, the share from referrals will increase as a percentage of the total revenue. Your niche, local market strength will make you strong globally. Be the go-to agent in your market. This is very, very, very important. Efforts to promote referrals as a revenue stream need a thrust, and that thrust can be through brand loyalty. Offer a cup of bouquets of client services, financial, legal, documentation, to name a few, to provide a one-stop shopping experience. Be the supermarket of real estate to the world. This strategy will help engender strong brand loyalty and allow to grow your market. Next, please. There are millions of real estate agents around the globe, but not all have your same high standards. Even those with like standards, some will be better resourced for referrals than the others. Be strategic about binding your network. Go back to your business plan, What markets are your best source for inbound referrals? For example, who's investing in the Bangalore market? Where are they coming from? In my market, I can only talk about commercial. We've got the biggest real estate funds who've acquired property. We've got Blackstone, which has invested about $2 billion just from one developer. And then you have the Canadian pension funds and Brookfields that have invested over 3 billion plus with just one developer in Bangalore. These are a few things that I wanted to share with you where the pandemic has changed the way we do business. These investments, international investments, are buying commercial and large retail properties. So these are opportunities which have been made by these people, and they've grabbed onto it and jumped onto the bandwagon. Pursue opportunities that will put you in contact with professionals in the market. Don't limit your network to those who do the same type of business. Broker to broker networking is very important, but you have a lot of competition. Network with others who can provide referrals, for example, property managers, professionals who manage properties, for investors who may be looking for new investment opportunities in your market. Also consider allied professions such as real estate attorneys or lenders who work with global buyers, or advocates, banks, wealth portfolio managers, and so on and so forth. Focus on your niche expertise or niche market. Establish yourself as the very best person for a specific market that will bring more referrals than being someone who does business everywhere. You need to give to get. Agents new to the global market often think that they can just sit back and referrals will roll in. Sending referrals abroad will help generate reciprocal referrals, but don't stop there. Give information, give your expertise, put yourself out there as someone who can help. Do a little favor without immediate expectation of compensation. Prove your value and the referrals will come. Next, please. Next. As you build your referral network, don't forget to tend to the relationships. Real estate will always be a people's business, and it is even more so on the global scale. Your personal relationship will open doors to new business, so make sure your personal relationships are built with the best possible professional. These contacts will lead you to solid, productive business. Money should not always be the driver. Take the appropriate amount of commission for a referral based on the value you added. Even if you are contractually due more, if you simply pass on a name and an email, perhaps 10% of the shared value is sufficient. Even if you might be able to get 25%, good business dealings will come back to provide more business. Work to understand others, their culture, their language, traditions. If you think there is a problem, pick up the phone and discuss. Avoid talking about your concerns. This will only make them become bigger dramas in your head, which isn't good for business. Think of yourself as a broker of relationships. If you're successful at this, the business will follow. Next. Build your business through a global real estate organization. Use professional and trade associations such as FIAPSI, ICREA, NAR, FINAME, and other Thai real estate appraisers, or any other association that may be from your part of the globe. And others to access global property through inventory through portals. These groups are also best source for building a professional network and providing a common ground for business standards and ethical behavior. Surround yourself with the best. Use annual conventions and expositions to build your global business. Target those events in markets that represent inbound investors into your market, or offer investment opportunities of interest to your local clients. Before planning to exhibit at an event, attend at least once as a visitor. It can teach you valuable lessons and save you money to first observe how things work and how to get the most out of the event. En route to events, stop off in another market. Use your travel to explore new market opportunities based on your business plan. Tap into your global network to find contacts in these markets. Get educated about the unique elements of cross-border transaction. Learn how business is done around the globe and how to ensure a successful referral across borders. Next, please. Think back before the internet. It's hard to remember how we did even our local business, much less cross-border transactions. Thanks to the internet, global business is easier and more productive than ever before. Take advantage of global property portals. Make yourself as the expert in your niche market. Again, I repeat, make yourself as the expert in your niche market. Provide valuable information about your markets. Make full use of the many tools available online to make global business easier. Translation tools, electronic document verifications, wiring funds, promoting property features through virtual tours, and many of the new WhatsApp applications and the other applications that are being used today. Use social media such as Facebook, LinkedIn to find contacts and stay in touch with contacts, including those that you meet at events. Use Skype, Zoom, or the new ways of doing business, or to understand a client's need. Pinterest can help you convey the attributes of a property or market to the general market. You never know who might be looking. The number of business and real estate related apps are endless, and new ones are being developed every day. Many of these are about supporting a community or promoting your brand. Use them to strengthen your referral network. Next, please. If you're not already a member of FIAPC, I would then urge you to join the FIAPC and join its professional councils. We've got the 4 councils of FIAPC, that's the World Council of Brokers, Managers, Experts, Developers, whichever one that you fit in, but make sure you join your FIAPC chapter in the world, whichever part of the world you are. These councils are free and it's part of your FIAPC membership. We offer many tools and resources to help you build your network and do business. The first thing you should do is to create a robust online profile. Make it easy for people to see why they should send you referrals. Make use of the FIAPC cross-border referrals form. Attend events. While business is increasingly run through technology, relationships are still largely built face-to-face. Pick those events most related to your business, expertise, or market interest. Get involved, whatever your real estate passion. We welcome your ideas and your energy. Tie your passion to your business goals. Plan a trade mission in conjunction with a local or national event to expose your markets to professionals from around the globe. If that seems like a lot to bite off, volunteer to organize a webinar about a local investment opportunities. FIAPC will facilitate regular marketing webinars to promote specific investment opportunities. We welcome new markets to promote. At the heart of FIAPC is the relationships formed by professionals coming together in the interest of best practices and cooperative business. It's a great place to begin to build your global referral network. Next, please. To summarize the building blocks for your global business and doing international business, become a niche market expert and use a geostrategist outlook to shape your thinking and your business plan. Develop a strong, positive brand and stake your reputation to that brand by adhering to good ethical business practices and also just good business practices. Develop a strong business. Develop a strong, positive brand and stake your reputation to the brand by adhering to good ethical business practices and also just good business practices. Develop a strong global network of agents and other industry specialists, the best people in the key markets worldwide, and pursue a productive referral business. Take advantage of industry events and organizational resources to connect with global players and to market your and your property listings. Embrace new technologies that can support global business growth and an active referral network. FIAPSI is working to help agents around the globe to be more productive in their businesses through access to important market information and through the ability to network with like-minded professionals. I welcome your involvement in these efforts. Next, please. I thank you for giving me a patient hearing. I think I've kept my time and I'm open to any questions if there are, or I'll make room for the next speaker. Thank you very much, Dr. Supon and the Thai Board of Affairs.
Thank you very much. Our world president, former world president and president of FIAPSI, India. So you are very sharp in time. So you have another 5 minutes. Anyone would like to ask a question to our invisible president? I mean, I cannot see you now. Let's see the Watergate. So
can you see us now, Doctor?
If you have any question, you can kindly ask a question, please. Any one of us would like to ask a question, you may raise your hand from Eurofinance. He said, thank you. Any question? So in some, President Farouk, in the case of buying a house or leasing a house in India, how can we do, sir?
Buying a house in India is not permissible for foreigners unless, as I mentioned to you, unless you take special Reserve Bank clearance. And that is open to most countries except our immediate neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Nationals of these countries are not allowed to buy any real estate in India. But foreigners and high net worth individuals can invest in Indian markets to buy commercial real estate, to buy shopping malls, to invest into hospitals, hospitality projects. I mean, everything except residential you can invest in, except for residential, which you can't invest. But if you take special permission from the Reserve Bank of India, you're then allowed to buy residential. And the reason they do this is already real estate prices are quite steep in India. And once foreign investments are open, they feel that the markets might get even hotter and the locals may not be able to afford buying property. But having said that, a lot of persons of Indian origin and non-resident Indians formulate a big chunk of buyers who buy second homes or buy homes for their fathers, or, you know, whenever they come, they'd like to live in. So residential property is in great demand with international investors of Indian origin. But commercial, as I mentioned to you, and leasing and renting also is not a problem. As a foreigner, you can lease properties, provided you come through the FDI route, the foreign direct investment, or you come in as a company, then you are allowed to do buy real estate.
For how long? For the lease?
No, as long as you want. You can even buy it or you can lease it. That's not a problem. You can either buy or lease.
For 50 years or how many years for the lease?
Well, generally rentals are a 3-year renewable or 11-month renewable rental. Most foreigners take houses on rental, but the company can take on a long lease, even on a perpetual lease. So that's not a problem. It doesn't stop you from investing into real estate residential property. Like suppose somebody likes Goa as a beach resort, or somebody likes to go to Shimla as a hill station, or somebody's got children who are studying in Bangalore or Pune. They can apply to the Reserve Bank of India and say that my son or my daughters were studying here and like to buy a home, and a single window clearance will give you that. It just doesn't encourage people to come and buy real estate here like certain other global parts. In the Middle East, you can see buildings which are sold out to investors, but lights are not on. And, people have just bought it as an investment and that's it. We don't want that kind of a scenario here.
I see. In Thailand, around 14% of the house of the condominiums bought by foreigners right now. What about in India, sir? How many? What is the proportion of condominiums or apartments bought by foreigners? Do you have some statistics, sir?
No, I don't have any current statistics, but nothing worth mentioning. It's not even point, a very negligible number. Not even worth mentioning. Very, very few. But commercial property, millions of square feet worth billions of US dollars have been bought by, high net worth individuals, funds like Blackstone, Brookfield, then the Qatar Investment Fund, the Singapore Fund, GIC, and many of these funds have invested, especially in my city, Bangalore, where they've invested into commercial property, where technology parks have been bought by them, shopping malls have been bought by them, 5-star hotels have been bought. So it's open to all markets except residential market.
I see. Thank you, sir. So
thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, and we would like to hear for your lecture again at the end of the month. And so, Mr. Budiasa, our president from Indonesia, our VFC president of Indonesia, it will be your turn. And let's give a big hand to our former world president and president of VFC India, Mr. Farooq Mahmood, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Budiasa, please, you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you allow me to share the screen, please?
Please. For Mr. You like to show? You like?
Yes.
To show for you, right? Okay.
I'll do the share screen from myself.
Oh, you do it for yourself? Okay.
Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you. Well, first, good afternoon, everybody, and of course, I would like to thank Dr. Sopon for inviting me today to share the frequently asked question about foreign citizen buying property in Indonesia. But first of all, I think it's not too late to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and we wish that this year be better than last year for all of us. Again, back to the question, the answer is yes. But there are some conditions to be fulfilled. So let me go through the existing rules and regulation in Indonesia for foreigners to buy a property in Indonesia. First, look at the types of land title in Indonesia. We have two types of land title, which is freehold and leasehold. Freehold is exclusively only for Indonesian citizens. But leasehold, we have three different types of leasehold. The first one, if I literally translate, is like the right to do business. Usually this is for agriculture. And then the second leasehold is called, again, this is literally translate, is right to build and to use. And this, for Indonesian, can be converted into a freehold. And the third leasehold is, when I translate it, it becomes right to lease, build, and use. And this is the leasehold that can be owned by foreigners. So this is the differences of leasehold that is applicable today. So if you look at the chart, make it easier to understand what I explained earlier, is the freehold is perpetual, is only for Indonesian, and the maximum size is only 5,000 square meter. So if you want to own a big house, which is the land more than 5,000 square meter, then you have to, you cannot use your individual name, but it has to be through a company. It could be, of course, it's your own company, but it has to be through a company because you need to have a special permit to have a big house in a big piece of land. And then on the leasehold, as I mentioned earlier, there are three types. One is the right to use, usually for agriculture. It's called the right to cultivate the land or to exploit the land. And this is only for Indonesian citizens or a company. The company can be a foreign company, and you can have a joint venture company or even 100% owned foreign-owned companies. And the period is 25 to 35 years. And then the second one is the leasehold for Indonesian citizens and also for companies. This is usually for the residentials with a total period of 80 years, which is first, initially they give you 30 years, but can be extended to 20 years and then another 30 years. And the third leasehold, which is at the moment is allowed for the foreigners, actually the term period is the same, 80 years. Just the name of the title is different. So what you need to look before you buy property in Indonesia, of course, this is the current condition. I'm sure it will involve the aspect of the land title, the immigration, the taxation, and also the threshold price allowed by the government. First, look at the land title aspect. As I mentioned earlier, for foreigners, it's only a leasehold, which is different than the leasehold for Indonesian. But having the companies, domestic companies, be it joint venture or 100% owned, then you can get the leasehold the same as the Indonesian leasehold. The period is the same, 80 years. It can also be inherited and also can be mortgaged. And also, when you sell back to the Indonesian citizens, then the title can be reverted back to the leasehold for the Indonesian, or even can go back to the freehold for the Indonesian citizen. So these are the two titles for foreigners at the moment. For apartment, you have a leasehold, and as well as for the landed house, you have also the leasehold for foreigners, which is different than for Indonesian. Now, if you look at the immigration aspect, there is a requirement that you have to have a special permit, be it a temporary stay permit, which sometimes with the validity of 30 days, 90 days, or up to 2 years, or a permanent residence permit, which is usually holding a period of 3 years, or a mixed marriage with Indonesian after 2 years, or ex-Indonesian citizens or ex-dual citizens. But there is also a requirement imposed by the government that once you buy the property, you may not leave Indonesia for more than 365 days or a year consecutively. If you keep coming back, or even if you just come for one visit in a year, you are qualified. You just cannot leave more than 1 year or being absent for 1 year in Indonesia. Then you have to sell the property back to the Indonesian. Now this is the process of the land title itself, but maybe this is too technical. But this is what you have to go through when you purchase. Then you, of course, you sign the sale and purchase deed, and then the land title being processed. The different type of leasehold for apartment, as well as for a landed house, which later on, if you sell, then it will go back to the title for the Indonesian. Now we go to the tax issues. From the buyer side, if you buy property less than, I will convert into US dollar at the current rate. If you buy less than 360,000 US dollar, you only get the value-added tax to pay of 10%. But if the value of the property is more than 2.2 million US, besides the value-added tax of 10%, you will also be imposed for luxury tax, which is 20%. And if the building is or the house is more than 400 square meter, or apartment more than 150 square meter, there's another tax of 1%, what they call it the super luxury tax. That's on the tax aspect of the buyer. Then the next one is on the if you want to sell your property, because the Indonesian government now already adopt the final tax for real estate business, so you will get a final income tax, what they call it. So there is no capital gain anymore. You just pay 2.5% of all type of property as a final income tax. So make it very, very, very simple. And these are showing the threshold of the price of the landed house that you can buy, which is different from one city to another, one province to another. I just give you some examples of a few. Like say in Jakarta, the minimum price of the property is 667,000 US. But if you go a bit further, like to North Sumatra, it goes down to 200,000 US dollar. And if you go even further to Sulawesi or Celebes, it goes down to $134,000 for the landed house. And for the apartment, it also differ from one city to another, from one province to another. So it ranges from the minimum of $67,000 up to a minimum of $200,000 in Jakarta. So this is the existing regulation that I have been mentioning earlier. But last year, because of the pandemic and also the will of the government to increase the economic activities, but it's been in the discussion since 2015, which has not final yet. But because of the pandemic, then the government really would like to make the economic recovery faster. So they introduced a law which is called the Omnibus Law, which cover all aspects of industries, and including the real estate industry, which also, of course, then touch the issues of the foreign ownership of property. So the law already passed, but in Indonesia, to implement the law, it has to be followed by a government regulation, if I translate it literally, before it can be implemented. And now it's still under discussion of some of the issues. Hopefully, it will issue this regulation very soon. But of course, nobody can guarantee the time and also the issues which will be approved. But these are showing the points that the property or the real estate industry asking the government in easing up all the regulations regarding the property ownership for foreigners. I just try to summarize on 3 points, which is I think, or we think, as the property players, quite crucial to be improved or to encourage more investment. The first one is on the residential ownership. Before, as I mentioned, you have to have special permits, residence permit, be it temporary or permanent residence. So if you only come as a tourist, then you cannot buy. But now, on the proposed regulation, well, not approved yet, but it's already in the heavily discussed, that the visitors can buy. So once you enter Indonesia with the visa, even though a tourist visa, then you are entitled to buy a property. And also some other restriction on the absentees will be revoked also. And the second issue is on the property rights or the land title itself. So not for the landed house. The landed house, it will still be the different title for foreigners. But for apartment, we are proposing that the title, the leasehold title, would be still the same for Indonesian or foreigners. because at the moment, because of the leasehold of apartment unit, which is the strata title, what we usually known as, cannot be differed in one building. So if there is one unit sold to foreigners, then the whole leasehold title of the building changed as if the whole building is sold to foreigners, which is very unfavorable to Indonesian. Because Indonesian, of course, they would like to have the leasehold, which is for Indonesian, not for the foreigners. So we already discussed this with the government on this new regulation that for apartment only, not for landed house, only for apartment, that the leasehold title would be the same for Indonesian or foreigners. So there is no issues on the land title or the strata title for apartments. And the third issues regarding on the immigration again is that you will not lose your property rights, owning rights, if you are not in Indonesia for consecutively for 1 year. So you can, once you are here, you buy property, then not necessarily you are in Indonesia for one consecutive year, full year. So that is make it more lenient also for foreigners to buy property or house or apartment in Indonesia. So that is mainly, I think, the big points that I would like to mention. So hopefully from 2021 onwards, with the new law already passed, but the government regulations still under discussion, we are sure that the issues to regulate the implementation of this foreign ownership will be very positive. So the process will be definitely simpler and easier. So we all are very eager to wait for the government, the new government regulation to be issued. So all of you just be ready to come and visit Indonesia. Thank you.
Very much, President of FFC Indonesia. Very clear. Do you have any statistics about what is the percentage of condominiums or apartments or landed housing owned by foreigners in Indonesia right now, sir?
Very, very little.
Oh,
Because it's
maybe
not,
future,
I think it's not because of the demand, but because of the supply. Like ourselves, we don't want to sell to foreigners because our title would be changed to a title as if the building is a foreign leasehold title. That's very discouraging for us to sell to foreigners, because if even one unit bought by foreigners, then the whole building title changed. So no Indonesian would like to buy it.
Oh, I
That
see.
title. So they will choose the building with all title for Indonesian. That's why now we are proposing to the government just to give the same title for foreigners, but apartment. For landed house, the government already say no. I think we agree for the landed house. That's okay to have a different title, because if you sell one house landed house to foreigners, it does not affect the next house land title. So no issues. But if apartment, it will affect the whole building. That's why what we propose to the government is for the apartment that we would like to have the same title for Indonesian and for foreigners. So to be honest, now it's very little because not because of the demand, but because of the supply that we don't want to supply that.
But in Thailand, we like foreigners to buy so that we have more capital to inflow into Thailand. That is
Exactly.
why
That's why we proposed that to the government, and the government seems have response positively. But of course, we need to have a new law and then the new government regulation. So the law already passed, but then the detail on the government regulation need to be discussed and digest more by the parliament also.
And if they want to buy properties or lease properties, do they want to, the first priority maybe in Bali or the first priority in Jakarta or anywhere, sir? Where is the first priority for foreigners?
At the moment, it looks like if it is for the second home, they will go to Bali or the touristic area. But if you have business, then they will buy in the big cities. Of course, the number one is Jakarta.
I see.
Because I think now it's still very favorable if you want to get the capital gain. You compare Indonesia and maybe I don't know Phnom Penh or Hanoi or Bangkok. I think our price is still very attractive.
Yeah,
So it
attractive.
means
Also,
that
you
the
have,
room for the capital gain is there.
yeah, you also have subways and also SkyTrain
Yes.
already. Yeah, quite
Yes,
attractive.
yes. We just have the subway last year. Then it continues to be completed for the whole Jakarta, and also the high-speed train from Jakarta to Surabaya is also under construction. And now from the other end of Java, from the west end of Java to the east end of Java of more than 1,000 kilometers already connected by toll road.
Oh, I see.
And the government now also building the toll road from the very end of Sumatra to the other end of Sumatra, and also around Kalimantan and Sulawesi. So the toll road construction really take full speed that the government want to improve on the infrastructure.
Last point, sir, for the new capital of your country, is it going to be materialized soon or not? For the new
That is to be honest, in the big discussion, because it's due actually to start this year, but because of the pandemic, no, actually it should start end of last year, but because of the pandemic, the budget from the government has to be moved from this new capital to overcome the pandemic. But it looks like the will from the government is still there, but maybe there is a delay, a year or so.
like in Thailand and Indonesia, right now the pandemic increasing very drastically. Any worry about this, sir?
Yeah, and very much so, especially for the government. Can you imagine the government? Our population is 267 million, and the government has to provide vaccines free for everybody. You can count how much money needed compared to other countries.
Yeah, very big superpower.
Yes, yes. That's why the government really eager to get this economy come back to normal by having this new law that what they call omnibus law, which covered all industry. Not only if you change the law only one industry is very difficult. So they comprehensively changed the law that involve all activities of the national economy.
Say, if in the case of leasing apartments or condominiums in your country, normally, if we lease it, do we need to have a title, or maybe we can lease directly from the
Oh,
title?
if you want to rent or lease, there's no issue. You can just go direct to the owners or the companies by agent.
For how long?
Oh, no limit.
Oh, yeah. So in that case, should be better. If we rent or lease
Yes.
for
Yes.
30 years, should be enough. No
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to own it.
Yes,
That
yes,
could be another option.
Yes,
What's
yes.
the average price for apartments in Jakarta right now, sir? The
I
average.
think if in the CBD, the price is between 4,000 to 5,000 per square meter.
Oh, $4,000. Yeah, should be.
Yeah, $4,000 to $5,000 per square meter.
If we compare with Singapore, should be still a lot lower.
Oh, we are maybe only 1/10 of Singapore.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is still there.
Yeah, you may attract a lot of Singaporean or Malaysian to buy.
Yes, that's what we
Yeah.
hope. Yes.
So any of us who are in this Zoom should book some apartments from our President Budiasa,
Thank you.
because you are one of the largest developers in
Thank you.
Indonesia. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
have also experience in Manila, in Hanoi, in Ho Chi Minh
Yes.
City, and in Phnom Penh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
every
Thank
of
you.
your projects, you have a flock of horses at the big gate there. Yeah, very impressive. So,
Thank you.
it's time already the time. So, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Terima kasih. Yeah.
Well,
According to the time, I should have a break. But I think let me just go straight ahead. No break. No break. So let me just show you some figures here that I already prepared about the. Okay, so this is the thing I like to show you here เอาเขาออกด้วยสิตัวเขาอะไม่ใช่ตัวเขายังอยู่กัน so this is these figures I show you that is the house price in the US. You can see in Q3 house price still jumping up a lot, even if coronavirus or COVID-19 is prevailing in the US. So there is no problem in the US. This is in Germany. I found the figure that house price in October 2020 still going up and going up every month. So this should be a good sign, even if there are a lot of COVID-19 in Germany recently. And in UK, this is the house price that still going up, rising 2.1% for the previous month. But this is still in March. And this is in Australia. You can see that the third quarter in Australia, house price is going up quite substantially. So should be high hope somehow. And this is in China. You can see that this is 8.4% per month, and this is 4.8% per month. But this graph might be a little bit distorted because it is not start with 0. It started with 4. So it looked like going down a lot, but actually it should be okay. If house price going up 4.8% per month, that is too high. In Thailand, it is around 5% per year. So this is 4.8 per month. Maybe we should go to buy a house in China. But I think maybe not many people like to buy a house in China, but many Chinese like to buy a house in Indonesia or in Thailand or many other countries. And this is in Japan. In Japan, up to month number 8, August, you can see house price in Japan still static, no movement. This has been happening for the last 70 years already. But because of the COVID-19, the house price in Japan is not dropping. It is still the same. So this is something not so bad. Oh, for the time being, let me confirm that after me, in the few minutes, Mr. Chandi Man from Cambodia, who was supposed to be Cambodian FFC in the future, will be your turn at around 2:50, around 2:50. So in a few minutes, kindly prepare for your presentation at 2:50. But this is a graph in the table in the case of Japan. House price is not going down. This is in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, you can see that some types at some sizes are going up, or some may be the same. So even if in Hong Kong there are a lot of unrest, there are a lot of evidences, and there are a lot of COVID-19 as well. But property price is not strongly affected, even in the period of SARS in the past as well. So this pandemic or any other natural disasters might not have a big effect to property prices in Hong Kong. This is in the case of Singapore. In the case of Singapore, the latest situation was in August, and you can see that in after January, property price is going up 152.1, 152.6, and 153.8. You see, there are some slight increase. So this should be okay, even if there are a lot of people infected by COVID-19 in Singapore. But according to what we know is that those who are infected are mostly foreign workers in the camp to stay together. So they get infected. But for Singaporean themselves or those immigrants, maybe they have not much infected. So this is in the case of Singapore, the price is still slightly increasing. In the case of Thailand, where I'm here, in the case of Thailand, you can see that there are still newly launched units and value. You can see this period in 1997, 1998, 1999, around 20 years ago, during the crisis, Asian crisis, there is no new launching at all. But right now, they are still launching today. So this means that the situation today is not as worse as in 1997, 98, and 99. So this is what happened. And these are the newly launched projects in the last 6 months of 2020. And you can see here that this year, the newly launched unit may drop for half, or maybe recently we found that it may drop for around 30%. However, it is still sizable. Still a lot of units are launched compared to 1998, 1999. There are almost no newly launched units. And right now, the property price for the newly launched units, you can see that it is dropped for minus 3.5%. The price dropped for 3.5%. This is not directly because of COVID-19, but because of the heavy supply in recent months. And the last one is here. This is in the case of condominiums or owner-occupied apartments in Bangkok. The owner-occupied apartments or condominiums in Bangkok, you can see that around 15%, 15% or around 1/6 or 1/7 of them bought by foreigners. In the case of the CBD, the Central Business District, around 25, 1/4 of the units bought by foreigners. So this is for the first half of the year 2020, the foreigners are still active to some extent in Thailand. But I expect that the second half of 2020, foreigners may buy a lot less because many of them cannot come to Thailand. So this is the problem. But Thailand is still the destination for foreigners to buy properties, particularly those from Myanmar, those from Cambodia, from Malaysia, from China, particularly mainland China. These Chinese like to buy properties in Thailand. I don't know why. Maybe we have some many Chinese in Thailand, including my grandma who moved from mainland China 80 years ago. If she didn't move, maybe I can come to buy properties today. So yeah, this is the prices bought by foreigners. Say it may be around say 150,000 US dollar on the average bought by foreigners. I think we should have some threshold, or maybe we should have some minimum price for them to buy. Otherwise, they will buy at any price, and it will make the home buyers, local home buyers, suffer because property price or house price will increase because of foreign demand. So at least they should buy property at least say $500,000 or maybe at least $250,000, something like in Malaysia. They said 1 million ringgit or 2 million ringgit that could be bought by foreigners. So this is some additional presentation. So now we should go to Mr. Chandi from Myanmar. So Mr. Chandi, are you ready? So right now we have many colleagues from Vietnam, from Cambodia, from Myanmar, from Taiwan, from USA, Miss Dana, for Dr. Sampan, Mr. Farouk, Mr. Kelly William, and Mr. Lawrence Day from Singapore, Miss Mai Lan from the US as well, Kun Apichat, Kun Nisarat, and Kun Mr. Rusmin Lawin from Indonesia, and also a lot more, Mr. Thomas Hennu, also kindly join us, and many authors. Thank you very much. So it will be the turn of Mr. Chandi from Cambodia. Thank you very much. So I will come back to moderate later. So let us welcome Mr. Chandi, please.
Thank you, Dr. Supan, for inviting me here. And hello, do you hear me, Dr. Supan? Yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say thank you, Dr. Supan, for inviting me to join this conference today. And I didn't have the slide, but I got just a brief about the foreigner invest in Cambodia. Foreigner can invest in Cambodia, like they have a lot of type similar to Indonesia and similar to Taiwan's, but Cambodia have the special, like for land and house, a foreigner cannot invest, but for condominiums, a foreigner can get the 100%, and foreigner can own 70% of the condominium, like mean one building that have the 100 unit. So foreigner can own 70% of the building. And for the land, the foreigner can own the land under the company name, mean that they buy under the company that have the local 51% and foreigner hold 49%. So they can buy the land under the register, the company. But for we have the concession land, the foreigner can invest like agriculture, similar to Indonesia too. Agricultural land, a foreigner can lease from the government 50 plus 50 plus 30 like that for the agricultural land, and can lease 100% under the foreigner company name. And for the condo and apartment, foreigner can get from the first floor up, mean that no land from the first floor up, foreigner can buy. And it's good for foreigner that invest in Cambodia is US dollar. So foreigner don't worry about the exchange rate. Mean that they can use the US dollar to invest in Cambodia. And for the tax in Cambodia, we have the property tax. That the government declared at 0.01% every year, and property tax. Unused property tax is at 2%. But the government accept that land and house at less than $20,000, no need to pay the property tax. No need to pay the stamp transfer tax. The stamp transfer tax in Cambodia is 4%. And the government want to use, they want to issue the regulation that charge the capital gain tax from this year, but because of COVID-19, the announcement is delayed. So now in Cambodia, capital gain tax we don't have. But as the plan, the government want to charge is 20% of capital gain tax. But now it's delayed. So a lot of things that our government that open for the foreigner invest in Cambodia, like if some company that want to invest the hotel, so they can own the hotel, like they do the hotel in the building, like condominium, they lease the space like 50 unit of condo for open the hotel. They can own that company by 100% of foreigner. No need to register under the Cambodian name, because you do the business in hotel on the condominium building from the first floor up. So mean that from the first floor up, foreigner can own freehold, not leasehold. Cambodia is a freehold. It's just few that they do the leasehold. Most that do the leasehold property, they do agriculture. They lease the concession land from the government or from someone, private company in Cambodia, to do the agricultural land. But for the building or condominium apartment, mostly they are the freehold. And in Cambodia, I think it's good. We don't have more title like in Indonesia, like Pak Budasai mentioned. For the strata title, we for the building, we do both for the Cambodian and for the foreigner, get the same. And the market now for the condo in Cambodia is, I think, quite tough in Cambodia because of COVID-19. But for the housing and land and housing for the residential is good, still going, and construction, everything's are ongoing. We're not stuck, but for the building, some project is delayed because of COVID-19, and I think the price of the apartment or condo in the CBD in Cambodia, I think it's quite good in Cambodia because the price between the average between 2,002 to 3,000 USD only year. So I think it's better for the investor that looking to invest in Cambodia. That one is in CBD, but outside the CBD, is the price less than that. It's good more than that. And I just see this is has more question. You can email me. I type the email there, and then I will answer all the question, and or can ask here because I don't have much for present, but I like to answer all the questions.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, can you tell us about the proportion of condominiums bought by foreigners in Cambodia? I heard a lot of Chinese buy condominiums in Cambodia. What is the situation on this?
I think before the COVID-19, yes, correct. A lot of Chinese and Singapore and Malaysia bought a lot of condominium because condominium in Cambodia now, Cambodian people not yet interested much in the high-rise building yet. They interest in the land and house. So most building that build in Cambodia, the high-rise building mostly invest by the foreigner or mostly. So but Chinese is the one.
Oh, Chinese is the first priority.
Yeah.
So right now, since because of the COVID-19, do they just cancel their booking or something? Do they still buying or holding those investment or not, sir? I mean, for Chinese, do they still or do they just neglect that investment right now in Cambodia?
Now, because of COVID-19, the developer, they change the direction for attract the investor from the outside. They change to attract the local people to buy the condominium, and then they offer the good benefit and good payment, term of payment and everything for the local people. It's like that to get. So still can sell, but just not much.
I see. And I heard for you yourself, the Premier group, you have successfully do a lot of land subdivisions and sell it like hot cake. I went to your projects, even in the pandemic period. What is the situation of selling subdivided lands in Phnom Penh? Is it still okay or dropping like in the case of condominiums? What happened?
For the local people, I still can say that we still can sell. Land and housing still can sell because I just finished one project at the end of this month, last month, December. I closed one site. I mean that I hand over all the property to the buyer, and then I start the new phase of the project for the land and housing. And, for the land subdivision, we still now we sell is going up. This month is going up. So if next month is the sale is going up, maybe on March, I will launch a new one.
Yeah. The project that you closed in December, how many units that you sold for that project? How many?
100 units.
How many projects?
100 units.
100
land and house.
Yeah. For how long? For selling for how long? For one year or 6 months or something?
1 year.
1 year. 1 year you can sell 100 units. Oh, that is very
Yeah.
quickly. In the case of say around 10% per month. Oh, amazing. In Thailand right now, it may be around 6 to 8% per month only. Oh, so if any projects in Cambodia, is it possible to join with you or any developer in Cambodia?
Nowadays, mostly I do myself. I don't have the joint venture, and because I focus for the local market, and I focus for the cash flow back faster. So mostly foreigner, they want to build high-rise building, want to do like that. I said no, now cannot. I do the fast cash flow moving, mean that I invest. I find a way that how to move the cash back fast. At least the cost of investment. Within 2 or 3 years like that, I have to move.
Foreign developers like Mr. Budiasa from Indonesia, can they go to Cambodia and invest in land subdivision or local housing for local people? Is it possible to do that?
Can we do under the company name, like joint venture, like 5149, yeah, 5149, and then we do like that. We can do.
I see. Oh, I see. Oh, so it should be very much profitable to do business there. Last question, sir. You have the IKEA in number 3 or something in Phnom Penh, the largest shopping center in Phnom Penh. After during the pandemic, do they have any very negative effect to those to that largest shopping mall in Phnom Penh?
I think no. The largest mall in Phnom Penh is the Eon. Eon they just closed. Yes, Eon they just closed a few days because of at that time the split in the societies by from the Eon Mall 1. So the governments asked for close just like 1 week for clear and then clean up all the mall, and then they open back. Now the Eon 3 is under construction at the short side of Phnom Penh. On the way to the new airport, and then now the OCIC they announced that they will build a two-way from the CBD to the new airport.
Where is the new airport?
The new airport is at the southwest of the Phnom Penh.
Oh, I see. Southwest of the Phnom Penh. I see.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
For the pandemic, COVID-19, Myanmar, a lot of infection. Thailand also a lot of infection. Today are over 10,000 infection already.
Yeah.
Why Cambodia very low infection? How can you deal with that?
I think, I think this one, our government is very strict on the rule that control the people. Like example, like we split on they call the 28th November split in the society. So immediately government collects all the people that involved, all that at even around 10,000 people, and ask all of them quarantine 40 days, separate from other people like that. And this day that the worker that come back from the Thailand, the government not allowed to go in Phnom Penh. So they keep all that government, the government put all the soldier and restriction and keep all that worker come from Thailand at the border and quarantine at the border. After treat, send back home.
Oh.
So till today, we got around 20 that come back from Thailand infected by the COVID-19, but they quarantine at the border and then treatment at the border.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really efficient indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for your. If you have any contribution, you can write on the chat so that people will learn more. Do you have any PowerPoint or any paper that you or any writing you can share with us?
Okay. I will share with you some information in the chat. Okay.
Okay, that I can
Yeah.
distribute to our participants so
Yeah.
that they have some materials. So,
Okay.
thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
kind
Thank
contribution,
you. Yeah,
and
yeah.
hopefully you will be able to form VFC Cambodia successfully soon.
I wish because I submit all the document already. I wait the answer from Mr. World President and the Secretary about that.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
ขอบคุณเจริญ Thank you very much. Yeah. So
Thank you.
now, so now we come to the next speakers. Mr. Chavit ช่วยชูคุณชูชาติใช่ไหมครับ Mr. ชูชาติ first ใครต่อนะใครก่อนMr. ชูชาติ first before Mr. Chavit Mr. ชูชาติ from the Myanmar Myanmar Thai Business Association. But since we are a little bit early, let me show you the information about occupying properties in Thailand. ขึ้นจอผมบอก So on this slide you can see that if you want to occupy properties in Thailand, number one, if you buy land in industrial estates, if you buy land in industrial estates, it is free. This means that you can buy a freehold land for building your own company, your own factory in the industrial estates. So this is really free for industrial estates in Thailand. I think this should be a lot more privileged than many other countries that you can buy land for industrial purposes, particularly in industrial estates. But even if we have these measures, what we can see is that many foreign direct investment, they went to Vietnam, they went to Indonesia, maybe even if you don't have as attractive as in the case of Thailand, maybe they still like to go to Indonesia and Vietnam. So this is our shortcoming. But this is the first thing, that if you want to buy land freehold, you can buy it in industrial estate. And that is for industrial use only. You cannot convert for shopping center or cannot convert it for residential purposes. Number two, if you bring in 40 million baht, that is equivalent to 1.25 million US dollar, only 1.25 million US dollar in doing business, any business, you are entitled to buy land up to 1,600 square meters for your residence. You can build a house. You can build a house on that land that is no more than 1,600 square meter. This is also very generous, but it doesn't mean that you bring in 40 million baht to buy land. You bring in 40 million baht to do business, so that to generate income, so that to generate jobs for our Thai people. So if you do so, you can buy a piece of land with another amount of money for 1,600 square meters of land. That is quite sizable, but the size may be different from place to place. So this is number three. If you buy condominiums in Thailand, you can buy up to 49%. 49%. I heard that in Indonesia, in Vietnam, sorry, in Cambodia, you can buy up to 70. In Cambodia, you can buy up to 70%, 70. But in Thailand, only 49%. In the past, during the year 2000, we allow foreigners to buy up to 99% in order to encourage them to buy properties in Thailand to inject money into our economy. However, at that period, no foreigners coming to buy because at that time property price is not going up. It is stagnant. It is stagnant for the time being at that period. So no foreigners buying at that time. So we reduce to 49%. However, today in the Eastern Economic Corridor or EEC, you can buy condominium up to 100%. Oh, this is very attractive. Our Eastern Economic Corridor, including the area of Pattaya, which is in the province of Chonburi and the province of Rayong and the province of Chakhon. So in this case, you can buy condominium up to around 100%. So no problem for you. This is the investment economic zone. Our economic zone is really big compared to Vietnam economic zone or Cambodia business economic zone because it covers the whole provinces, the whole 3 provinces. Number 3, and number 4, in the case of leasing land, you can lease land. The land title, the freehold land title, you can lease it. If you lease it, you can lease it for 30 years. This is very typical. I like my office. My office here, I built an office around 8 stories, around 12,000 square meters. I lease the land for 30 years. So this is leasehold properties. So people can lease land up to 30 years. So I lease the land 30 years and build my own office. And I demolish my old office and now going to build another office of my own in freehold land. But on this leasehold land, I can lease up to 30 years. However, in the case of leasing for commercial and industrial properties, you can talk with the landowners. By law, you can send up to 50 years, not 30 years, not 30 years, but up to 50 years. So this is for commercial and industrial purposes. However, more privilege in the case of the Eastern Economic Corridor or what we call EEC, you can lease land 99 years. It means that you have 2 contracts. Contract 1, 50 years. Contract 2, 49 years. And you can do this contract within 1 day. I mean, there are 2 contracts, but you sign in 1 day. So it will become 99 years. But in other areas, in the rest of Thailand, including Bangkok, if you want to lease 30 years or if you want to lease 50 years, this means that at the end of year number 30 or at the year 90, at the year of year number 50, you have to do another new contract afterwards. You cannot do the contract at the same time. It will become illegal. So this is the privilege that we try to push for foreign direct investment into Thailand. But as I said, many foreigners, they went to, they now go to Vietnam or to Indonesia. Hopefully, some of them may come back to Thailand to some extent. Okay, so this is some brief presentation about owning or occupying properties in Thailand. So let us go to Mr. Chuchat. ใช่ปะ Mr. Chuchat. So Mr. Chuchat, it is your turn for 30 minutes.
Okay.
You and after within 20 minutes you may talk, and then last 10 minutes you can have some Q&A. So thank you. ขอบคุณครับ please.
Okay, it's my turn now. My name is Chuchat Mekakan. Actually, I living in Myanmar wrong about 30 years already. Okay, and my business area actually not direct in the real estate area, but I think from my experience, I can give you some more some general information about the real estate property. I think after me, we have Dr. Sai Ong Jo, which is he will focus more in detail of the real estate business better than me. Okay, but in general, okay, I would like to start with the some statistic of Myanmar first. Okay, Myanmar, in you know where is Myanmar, right? Myanmar is in Southeast Asia, next from Thailand, and on the left hand side we have India and Bangladesh. Okay, on the north we have China.
គេកំពុងតាពិនិត្យគេនឹងបើកឲ្យទាំងអស់ចាំមិនចាំ
Myanmar is a little bit bigger than Thailand. We have 670
បងឲ្យគេ
100,000 square kilometer. Okay. Our population, Myanmar population is 54 million, okay, which is a lot of young people who be a good workforce, okay. Capital of Myanmar is Naypyidaw in the center of Myanmar, okay. Yangon is the largest city. It's like a port city, and all the major business development economy is all in Yangon, okay. And Myanmar currency we use Jat, okay, Jat, and the exchange rate is $1 now is equal about 1,328 Jat per dollar, okay, and okay, Myanmar GDP, okay, it's around about 75 billion, okay, which is not so big, okay. This is the project on 2020. Okay, income per capita is quite low compared to the other country in ASEAN. I think Myanmar quite the lowest. Okay, 1,278. Okay, it's quite lowest. Okay, then on the other hand, it means Myanmar GDP is have potential to grow compared to the size, the national resource that we have. Okay, next. Okay, you see the chart. Okay, this year GDP of Myanmar, even we have quite COVID. Okay, quite serious. Okay, because it's one of the number 3 in ASEAN. I think is the number of people who infected COVID, but GDP is still in the plus. Okay, 1.8, same as Vietnam. Okay, and next year I think on 2021 our GDP growth is 6 to 7%, almost the same as Vietnam. Okay, then compare with Myanmar and Vietnam, I think the growth rate is quite the same. Okay, this is some data that I want to show you about export internationally, which is I think is not so important. Okay, go ahead. Okay, population, as you see, okay, we have male 26 million, female 28 million, okay. The workforce 37 million, which is quite very good, okay. Communication, telephone, is everybody have the handphone, okay, now in Myanmar. Next. Okay, now come to the real estate development in Myanmar, okay. In the last 4-5 years ago, Myanmar is booming. A lot of investors coming in from all over the world, okay, and do many projects. Around about 150 real estate projects has started, okay, in the last 4-5 years. And up to now, I think most of the project is nearly, most of them is finished. Some is almost finished, okay. The picture that I show you is like on the left hand side, the Times Square. This is the investor from China and the local Myanmar. Okay, develop is quite mixed use project. They have shopping mall, they have office building, they have hotels. Okay.
ลงทะเบียนมาตอนนี้ยังเรายังส่งไป
On
ให้
the
เขา
right hand side is a project name is Myanmar Plaza. This project is owned by Hong An Kai Lai Vietnam. It's one of the biggest project that developed in the last 4-5 years. Okay, it's now is 50% finished and a lot of activity. Okay. Okay. This is some other project that developed.
เอ้ย073น่าจะเป็น
In the center, the Golden City is developed by the Chinese company. It's a condominium. Okay, it's one of now is I think the tallest building in Yangon. Okay, the project is already finished and okay. Then this is some other project. The left-hand side central project is developed by Hong Kong developer company. I think the project is I think 90%, 95% finished. Okay. The middle one is the Junction City developed by the local company Choi Tong. Okay, one of the biggest developer. Okay, the right-hand side is the Yoma Center. It's this project is they set up the company in Singapore and sell the stock in Singapore and take use that money develop in Myanmar. Okay, the project now is I think more than 50% finished. Okay, this is another project. The left-hand side Diamond India is developed by Myanmar. Okay, developer. Okay. The right-hand side, Kantaya, developed by the Chinese company. It's a mixed use. They have office building, condominium, apartment service, and shopping mall. Now it's already open. Okay, now go to the data. Okay, this data mostly is coming from the Collin International. Okay, I give them the credit on the data that I take this to show you. Okay, the office building now the number of 400 square meter, occupancy rate now about 65%. Okay, the price is it's now is around $30 to $40 per square meter. Actually, compared to other countries, I think the price of the office rate is quite okay, quite good. Okay, better than Bangkok. Okay. Okay. Next, the condominium. Last a few years, the stock is about 13,000 units, but the take-up rate is about 60%. Some obstruction of the condominium development is actually foreigner can buy condominium by law, but in terms of practical, still not so many buyers from foreigner yet. Okay, then most of the project they target to sell the local. Then the local they have limitation of buying power. Then you will see the number of take-up rate is only 60%. Okay, still slow. And in terms of, especially on this situation of COVID pandemic, then I think in terms of condominium, the situation will be slow for another 1 year at least. Next. Okay. Next is the shopping mall and retail space. I think this part of the real estate is, my point of view is quite good because of in business activity, a lot of people want to do business. Okay, then you see the number of rate, occupancy rate is 90%. on the shopping mall and retail space. And the price $30 is compared with other countries quite in a high price. Okay, then this is the area that I think for the foreigner, I think that this area is still room available to do. Next is the apartment service. Apartment service, actually the number is still not so many. We have about 2,200 units. We're talking about the project apartment service, not condominium that rent to the foreigner. Okay, this is purely the apartment service project. Okay, and you can see the occupancy rate is 80%. It's quite okay, and the room rate chart, you see the chart is quite high compared with the Thailand or nearly same as Singapore price. Okay, this is the area that also good to invest. Okay, now we in other area like land for the industrial land. I'm not talking about now because actually industrial land is quite okay for foreigner to lease. Okay, basically, okay, foreigner cannot buy the land in Myanmar. This is a law. Okay, but foreigner can lease. Okay, long term. Okay, 50 year plus 10 altogether 70 years. This is the law. Okay, but for condominium foreigner can buy, but can buy only 30% of the number of units in that project, and have to be 5 floors up. You cannot buy condominium below 5 floors. Okay, this is the law. Okay, and then we can say that foreigner can only lease the land. Okay, to government or private, you can do that. But if you lease the land from private, you have to get permit from government. The organization that for the foreign investment we call MIC. That you need to get the permission from MIC to do the project. Then you can lease the land 70 years. After that, okay, out of it you cannot do. Okay, then my recommendation that if you are foreigner, you want to develop the property project in Myanmar, the best way is you lease the land from government. Okay, the land from government, the price, okay, is one square meter, it will cost you around about $10 to $20 per year. Okay, then you have to calculation that is what that from the price you rent or you lease is good for you to invest or not. Okay, this is basic information that I can tell you now. Okay, talk about the tax. Okay, Myanmar have many kind of tax, but basic that involve when you do the property. Okay, income from property, you have to pay the tax about 7.5% of the income that you rent or you lease the property. Okay, and this is out of the corporate tax. Corporate tax basic is 25%. And if you get the permission from the investment commission, you will have 2 years to 7 years for waiving the tax holiday for 3 to 7 years. Okay, and if you sell the project, okay, you have profit, capital gain of profit of the project you sell. You have to pay 10% to the government. Okay, out of it, when you do the contract, you have to pay the stamp duty. It depends on the size of the contract. Then that you have to check again with the lawyer. Okay, and they can use more details. Okay, this is a basic information about the topic that we're talking about, how to own the property by foreigner. I think now if anybody have question, please.
Thank you very much. I hope this should be very interesting, and we will also have our colleagues, the Vice President of Myanmar Real Estate Service Association, to talk about this as well. But as a investor from Thailand to Myanmar, do you think foreigners like from Thailand or other countries to invest in Myanmar in any sector of real estate in Myanmar that we should invest? Kindly tell us, please.
Actually, now Thai is one of the number 3 investor in Myanmar. We have a couple projects in hotels, okay, and in the property other like condominium and shopping mall, we still don't have the Thai investor yet. Okay, I think the most difficult thing that we face is to get the land, even from the government. Okay, it's not easy. Okay, the land issue is a point that most of the foreign investor have a difficult time. Okay, but Thai investors is here. We have many factory, okay, open up. Now we have the Macro Thailand is open, okay, the first store already, and quite a very success, okay, a lot of customer in Macro, okay, and they plan to have at least 4-5 store around Yangon, okay, and go up to north, go to Mandalay also. I think in terms of Thai investor, we quite active here.
And in the case of the COVID-19 in Myanmar, so many people are infected and also coming to Thailand as well. So do you have any lockdown economic activity still going on, or you have to lock down or something or not? But in Thailand, we have from 4,000 to 10,000. And now we try to lock down somehow, and this create disasters to our economy. So what is happening in Myanmar in the case of COVID-19?
COVID-19 in Myanmar is quite serious, okay, because of we have over 100,000 infected every day. Before a few weeks ago, we have over 1,000 a day, but infected rate now is going down below 1,000. Okay, in Yangon, before we have 700-800 every day. Now we have 100-200 in this figure. I think government try to take care the problem. Okay, we have some area when you're traveling now in Myanmar, we need to have a COVID test paper, okay, from the hospital. Then you traveling to like a Naypyidaw or other city, you may have to show them, okay, you already have test. Okay, this is a situation now. But in terms of business, yes, it's slow. Okay, it's slowed down than before. But well, a bit everything have to carry on. Okay, like my friend, he have the garment factory, Thai garment factory, still working. They have 1,000 workers every day now to do production. Every week they still export to Europe. Okay, then the business must carry on. But we do whatever that we can do.
The market, the fresh market, is it closed down? In Thailand, some area they close down the fresh market because they are afraid of infection. What about in Myanmar? Do they close down the fresh market?
No, the fresh market, people still can, fresh market still open, but they have limit time. Okay, normally they will open in the morning time and evening times. Okay, but it still have some activity. Okay, but people is aware when you go out from home, everybody have to wear mask and clean your hand, and that's a normal practice here.
And in the macro on shopping center still open.
Still open. All the supermarkets still open.
Oh, so not much restriction in Myanmar.
I think now we quite get used to COVID. Then I think yes, people protect themselves from COVID, but you cannot scare and stay home, cannot do anything. Okay, you still need to do. You have some activity. We need to go to shopping center, buy our stuff, but when we go, we have wear masks and protect ourselves. Okay.
What about the school and universities? Do they close down or not?
Yeah, they're still closed down. We take we use online learning now in the school and university.
I see. But if they close down, maybe students, young people, they may be roaming around the city or not.
Yes and no, because they most of them stay home. Okay, stay home.
I see. Oh, they are not going to around to see their friends to shopping in shopping centers or.
No. That not much, but yes, some, but not much. Okay, everybody also protect themselves.
I see.
And what Myanmar government thought about the problem between Thailand and Myanmar about the Myanmar labor in Thailand that leaked the COVID? I think this is very sensitive.
Yeah, I think what Myanmar said is all the workers in Thailand must comply to the Thai government restriction. Okay, they support the Thai government to in terms of regulation and restriction. Okay, this is what Myanmar government do, and also Myanmar itself also try to quarantine some the border area. Okay, and checking. Okay. But the limitation of manpower and equipment, I think they can do every day in terms of test round about, let's say about 15,000 units per day, or maybe 20,000 units per day. That's all.
Thank you, Ka.
Any question? Okay, if any not any question, I think Happy New Year to everybody. Okay, and any question you can write, send to Dr. Sopon. I will answer as much as I can. Thank you very much.
Mic is mute, Mr. Sampom. Mic is mute.
Okay, này vô tam năng dân đấy chẳng okay.
So is it okay now? So Mr. Chue Chu will be your turn. 20 minutes.
Je sais pas, parce que j'ai eu des discussions aussi avec des notaires français et que disaient qu'ils ne pas ça, l'acquéreur,
a lot of echo.
le vendeur. Et je n'ai pas jamais compris comment il marche, parce que j'ai eu les deux choses. En Italie, c'est divisé entre l'acquéreur et l'acheteur.
A lot of echo.
L'acquéreur et le vendeur.
Okay.
L'acquéreur et le vendeur. Oui. Parce qu'en Italie, notre métier, c'est...
Yes, you can. Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. The echo is cut off. Did you see my presented PowerPoint?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for some 2 hours and a half. You have joined this value presentation, value seminar. I am Chawit Choi Chu. Actually, I am Lieutenant Commander Chawit Choi Chu, former naval officer. I would like to present something that if you are interested as a foreign, want to own property in Vietnam, this is maybe some information value to you. Of course, I'm stay here 23 years, less than Kun Chu Chat, but I am the same who established the Thai Business Association in Vietnam. For that, สวัสดีครับคุณชูชาติ The thing is like this. I like to say that you should understand something that the price of property in Vietnam is somewhere around less than Thailand. You can see that somewhere around 52%. In Thailand higher for the two reasons. First reasons, they have very good location. We have Thailand, we have very good transportation and many traffic control. For that in Thailand have a higher price. You may notice that somewhere around for in the city, $343, okay, per square feet. Of course, somewhere around 2,000 something per square meter. So by the way, I like to tell you that
lots of people here. Holy shit.
You hear me? Sorry? Support? Did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Now I just give you a sample of one apartment in the center of Ho Chi Minh City where I live in Ilis Chu. I just bought 6 months ago with the $2,700 per square meter. Of course, this location cannot compare to any place in Thailand. We can say similar to Payathai, but no any transport like a Payathai, the price like that. Okay? Somewhere around $2,700 per square meter. Okay, great. So once we understand this, the foreign cannot buy the land belongs to Vietnam, and that is Vietnam government will have right to manage. For that, forget about the land. Even the local people, Vietnamese people can own the land but limited, but own in the idea of 50 years. Okay, of course, the renewal is possible. So now, foreigner is allowed to use the land, okay? Use the land as their lease with the 50 years as the first and renewal. But some people say that 70 years may be maximum anyway, because Vietnam just opened, nobody confirmed that 50 years will be renewed or not. I asked a lot of my friends in government, most of them, they answered to me, at that time, I'm not in the post, I cannot answer, but possible. Even your marriage with a Vietnamese, you cannot own the land, for sure. I have a Vietnamese, a couple here, for that she can own the land, but whenever she buy the land, I have to omit that is not belong to my life anything. Okay, the number of property is like this, similar to Thailand, 30% of units, and so on. Very close to our Thai countries. But anyway, this one is more important to understand this. There is 3 ways to own the land, to own property in Vietnam. As foreign direct investment, you can own if you want to invest in Vietnam, you can establish the FDI or you can joint venture. Today, joint venture is allowed up to 99%. So, if you like to own the property in Vietnam, one of the way is you establish FDI. Let's say X company establish some business here and they own the property. But there's a case that for FDI 100%, 10-year maximum. Okay? But if you are joint venture, mean that you give 1% to your local partner, this company can own the land up to whatever this company varied. Once this company terminated, the property ownership will finish. I think this point is just a gap that if you want to own longer term property in Vietnam, you should not go to 100% FDI. You should go to joint venture. Okay. Second one, you marriage. Of course, once you have marriage certificate, you can have you can own the property in Vietnam. Personally, if you are foreigner like me in the second case, suppose one of my staff come here, I employ them from Thailand to come here. He or she can own the property also. Why? Because they come here, they have valid visa. What of course 50 years extension. Okay, so this is three ways. One of the way you can select. The foreigner cannot buy the land. Clear? I already informed you in the beginning. Now, the law from 2015 already changed to become favor. I like to talk to you with favor is, they allow the foreign to lease, mortgage, contribute, and so on. So before 2015, not allowed. You may notice three things. Now, even you can own the land as a foreigner in three options, like I explained you above. So now you can lease, you can mortgage. Before 2015, 6 years ago, not allowed. Today, relax. Second, the percentage of the total unit in apartment, today 30 at the moment. The government working under the pressure of many foreign parties to increase to 50%. Something is made a good news. So now, if you ask me to own the property in Vietnam, how much the cost of registration fee? Around 5.5% of cost. The fee of notary is very low, somewhere around $48 and so on. Part of them, 2.56, the seller have to pay. That is something you can acknowledge, that to buy the property in Vietnam, let's say that 300,000 US dollar or 6 billion dong. Okay, you pay only something like that. Okay, there is 6 steps. One booking here, you have to pay 2,000 to 4,000 something. Thai sale agreement, and you deposit 10%. Normally because of the COVID and the selling rate is not so good much. Now they allow 2 installment up to 5 years. Normally 2 years only. Once they hold over you the management property, you have to pay something. I want to give you something about Pink Book. In Thailand, we may familiar with Red Book. Now, we don't have Red Book in Vietnam because Red Book is just only for the land. And the land belongs to the government. The government will not issue. That's why issue the Pink Book. Okay? And then final payment. Somewhere around this is the procedures of the government. The foreign people have to pay, of course. Okay? But don't forget to sign sale agreement, SPA, you must have a valid visa to show them that you can come here. Not mean that you stay in somewhere other country like Thailand, Myanmar, whatever, wherever. Then you cannot prove that you have a grant visa. You would be grant the visa. You cannot sign this sale agreement. This is the point. Okay, payment option. Once you decide to buy the property in Vietnam, you should understand that you have three choices. Of course, okay, you deal with certain banks, with very famous in Vietnam, Vietcombank, Vietinbank, and so and so. By send email to them that I like to buy this, and they will support you. Or you are in other country out of Vietnam, and then you want to transfer that amount to Vietnam, you talk to them. Okay, I suggest use the 4 big international banks, SSBC, Jinhan, Standard, Citibank. After that, you transfer the amount directly, you can do to the bank account of the seller. Big seller like a Novaland, Wincom, so. Once they sign contract with you, they give you full support, then you can transfer directly to Vietnam. Today, 765 dong equal to 1 baht or 23,000 something dong per dollars. Okay, this one a little bit good because the inflation is around 1% only. Here is the pink book. This is pink book. They call pink book because really pink. Okay, they forget about the red book because if they don't use the pink book, pink color, the people will come misunderstand that I need to have a property book or something like that. Okay, then with this one, if you have this one, you can do 4 things. You can bring this pink book to mortgage whatever amount you do. Normally they give you 50% of the asset value. Okay, and then you can use this one to sign the other something. Even you can, whatever you want to renovate your apartment or where you need this one. This is very important. Will be under your name. So in this situation, before I close my presentation, I like to tell something. Today in Vietnam, 6 years from 2015, they sell around 3,000 units, 3,200 units per year. Now, in Ho Chi Minh City, sell more, 80%. The other city, like Hanoi, something is 20%. Ho Chi Minh City, where I am staying, they are good and a lot of property interest that you can invest or you can buy for live. Today, the price of Vietnam real estate or property increased year to year around 4.9%, not much, but 4.9% mean that they increase gradually. And of course, average price 2,600, I already showed you. If you ask me about the year-to-year price of apartment, 4.9, how about economic growth? Normally, economic growth, if without COVID, they expect 7%, 6.8, but this year they expect growth 2.7% because of the COVID. So now, the foreigner, if you want to mortgage, if you don't have a full amount to pay for any property in Vietnam, I suggest 50% you should consider. And then the interest nowadays 6.5 to 8.8% per year. Okay. Of course, they're still a little bit close to GDP because GDP Vietnam, they think that 6.5. So I like to conclude this one. If I miss something, please raise your question. Dr. ครับ
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hope we can invest in Vietnam. I
You're
see.
welcome.
Yeah.
I will be your supervisor with free of charge.
Yeah. What is your if any Thai would like to go to invest in Vietnam, what normally what can you help in the case of consultancy?
Because I am 23 years here, and most of them I am in Liver Industrial Park. Now, next 2 years, I'm going to bigger scale in Vietnam for industrial logistics and so on. For that, I think I have enough network, I have enough data, I have enough good people to support. Which segment, legal, financial, whatever. But don't forget, I can introduce, you have to be careful. They are foreigner, they are Vietnamese. Okay? Everybody should understand they are clever.
Yeah, very
Okay.
smart, very smart indeed.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
And nowadays, so many investors move to Vietnam instead of coming to Thailand and many other countries. So, what are the major pull factors that make people going to Vietnam a lot? Can you summarize the situation on this?
Because I noticed that most of the speaker is very familiar in real estate, some investors, some developer, and so on. I have stayed here 23. Out of this, I stay in Middle East 14 so. And I do some investment in Thailand during I was young. Here, 3 things I think Vietnam have. First, more margin. More margin. Suppose now, I don't know what happened at the moment in Vietnam. If you invest industrial park like me, you will have profit margin, some IRR, some over 25%.
Wow.
If you are invest in real estate, somewhere around 50%. IRR, right? Why? Because Vietnam easy to make money. That's why they return back for sell and buy. Vietnam very good business thinking. In Vietnam, if you understand some F1 and F2, it's like this. F1 mean that the first one who buy and stay. F2 buy and sell. For that, nearly 90% of your real estate buyer is F2.
Oh.
That's why yesterday, my wife decided to buy something in Frontier. Imagine that somewhere around $500,000, for example. This one they just bought 6 months, their profit 10% already.
Oh.
For that, this is the reason that most of the foreigners, if they know the way how to invest in Vietnam, that's one of the good place that generate your profit fast, huge. But nothing always good. You have to be careful and you have to select the right partner.
Like you, the right partner.
I don't know, maybe okay, next year I have intention to move to US. I want to see 50 years ago I worked there, I stayed there, I learned there. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I still consider Vietnam is one of the best country for investment because we can say high risk, high return. But the problem is you can cover the risk.
You were born in Thailand, and then
I born in Thai, Bangkok, in Ayutthaya,
and then work in the Middle East, and live in Vietnam for 22 years, and maybe retire or not yet retire because you are still young in the US. Maybe invest something in the US. Do you want to buy some properties in China?
I feel negative.
Oh, not yet. Maybe in the future. Yeah. But you said that 90% of the buyers in Vietnam are speculators. They buy and sell it.
That is correct. That is confirmed. That is correct.
In this case, the market may be a very speculative market, not end user markets. So it may crash in the future, like many other countries where housing become speculative goods. So that may happen in the future or not.
I think will happen. That's why the people, even I told to my wife, if you want to buy anything for speculator, okay, for something very high price and hot, you have to keep maximum 3 years release. Don't take long. But because of the Vietnamese can buy the land always increase. The land always increase. Imagine the land in some province 200 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City, 7 years increase nearly 3 times.
Oh, how come?
Triple.
So we should invest in Vietnam.
Yeah, better if you have money, find a way here. It's good.
Any question from our colleagues, Mr. Kirko?
Welcome, Cup. Vendor Cup. Dr. Sai, welcome.
So, one thing is, who are the major buyers from foreign countries? Singapore or Taiwan or Korean? Who are the major buyers from for foreign countries?
If I guess,
China,
Korean and China is very close. Korean and Chinese very close.
But even in this pandemic period, are there still a lot of buyers or not? Like in Thailand now, the buyers may be few because of the pandemic. What about in Vietnam? Foreigners still buying properties in Vietnam?
Yes, the rate still the same, doctor. 3,200 units a year. I don't know less than Thailand, of course, but still like this, 3,000 to 3,500 a year units per year.
But for foreigners only?
Yeah, foreigner only.
Oh, I see.
And Ho Chi Minh 80%, around 2,000 something. That's why most of the project in Ho Chi Minh City, now they want to increase the percentage of the foreign from 30% to 50%. How much for doctor in Thailand? How many percent foreign can buy?
49%.
Oh, nearly. That's why maybe they have an idea. Because the point is, if they sell to the foreigner, once the foreigner come, show high interest, immediately the price high.
Oh, yes.
Okay, something like that.
There is no price minimum price for foreigners to buy. They can buy at any price, right?
Yeah, even you know that they think that because when they come here, if they have a chance to go to Thailand, they found that somewhere around 50% higher. That's why they prefer to invest here, because the price increasing here is not bad. But on the return, doctor, many rich person in Vietnam still interested to buy a property in Thailand.
Oh, I see.
Some of them a lot. They spend around nearly 2 million to buy many assets in Thailand.
In Vietnam, so many investors going into Vietnam, but the infrastructure like tollway, highway, mass transit are still not much developed. So this is some shortcoming for the future of Vietnam or not.
That is so sorry to say Thailand, Vietnam. Vietnam have a lot of chance, but nearly passed. You can notice that once you come here without COVID, you will see the sky train, right? From Ho Chi Minh to Thủ Đức, and they clear the road a lot. Today, somewhere around 70% finished. But no one can estimate when 30% will be done.
Oh,
That's why the infrastructure in Vietnam, very serious, not good. Not
so
good at all.
what about the subway? The subway.
The subway also not yet go. The first project, as I told you, the price estimate, let's say X amount. After they done around 4 years, the price increased to triple.
Oh, triple X. Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
triple X. That's why 30% nobody know how to cover.
I see. Oh, so that is something we should notice.
Yeah, that is. I have to appreciate Kun Prayut. We are so fast, so many routes, right? But here, never see any route to be clear. Some just open in Hanoi, but Ho Chi Minh not yet. Still pending.
I see. I see.
Okay.
Yeah. So, xin cảm ơn. Thank you very much.
ขอบคุณมากครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ สวัสดีครับ chào các bạn. สวัสดีครับ chào các bạn.
So, let us come go to the next speakers, and the last but not least, he is very important in Myanmar. He is considered my brother because we met several times, and he is really kind to me. Let us welcome Dr. Sai. This is the first name. Sai is the first name, sir. Last name. Yeah. So he is the Vice President of Myanmar Real Estate Service Association and the President of Myanmar Real Estate Service Association in Chan State. So let us talk. Let us welcome our speaker from Myanmar. Minkalaba.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sawadee krap. Please let me share my screen, the host. First of all, I would like to say special thanks to our president, Myanmar Real Estate Services Association, Marisa, Mr. Kemau Dan, and president of the Thai Appraiser and Estate Agent Foundation, Mr. Sompong, for giving me the chance to be here today. Yeah, I'm also many thanks to previous speaker, Mr. Chuchak, for his very informative and excellent and detailed talk for Myanmar. I'm Dr. Sayangjo, the Vice President of the Myanmar Real Estate Services Association, Myanmar. Now, this is the geographic data of some Myanmar. As Mr. Chuchat mentioned about, the population is mentioned 54 now. My data is 57 million. It's slightly different. Area is the same, 676,578 square kilometer. Where bordered country are India, just 1,468 kilometer, Bangladesh 271 kilometer, China 2,129 kilometer, Thailand 2,416 kilometer, Laos 238 kilometers. The most popular of our country is the coastline. The coastline have from here around the coast and to here, there are total 1,930 kilometers. Location is between 90 degree, not 90 degree latitude to 29, and longitude is 92 to 102. Season, there are 3 seasons in our country. Rainy, the sun month are March, April, May, 3 months. And the rainy season are June, July, August, September, October, just 5 months. And winter season are November, December, January, and February, 4 months. The most distinguished features of our country are they have 4S, the popular of the 4S. The 4S means there are a long way of the sea, and around the sea there are so many sand for the beach. And this is the Ngabli, and this is the Nguisao, and this is the Maumakan, so many sands, and this also the beautiful area. They are all whole country with the sunshine. And at the north area, there are some snow in Putao, Michina district. Then distribution, there are 80% are rural area and 20% are urban area. The mostly are agriculture lands, they are 80%. And the other lands are industrial service, livestock, and mining. Yangon City, as the Mr. Chucha talked, Yangon City played leading roles in Myanmar property market. Yangon City has an area of 1,600 square kilometer and population about 7.4 million. Also, Yangon is the major commercial city and population density of the 6,500 per square kilometer. Mali is the second largest city economic center in Upper Burma. It is located 716 kilometer north of Yangon on the east bank of the ALD River. The city has a population of the 1,225,553,000. Another capital city is Naypyidaw, that established at 2006. Now it's the second economic city of the Myanmar. Now there are basically 3 approaches for foreigner investor to undertake real estate development activity in Myanmar. As Mr. Chucha said, there are joint venture. Joint venture, you can buy the company share of our local company, Myanmar company, up to 65%. You can buy the lands of our country. If there is reached the 65%, you cannot buy in our country. Another way is lease of the land of our country. They are 100% owned, but the time being is 50 plus 10 plus 10. Lease 50 years and extension 10 years, 10 years, 2 times after and transfer. This is called BOT, build, operate, and transfer approach in our country. C can purchase the condominium up to 40%. If 100 unit, one condominium can purchase 40% by foreigner and 6-story upward, as Mr. Chucha said previously. Myanmar Invest Law 2016 is different from previous foreign investment law. The key difference include the Myanmar Investment Commission shall approve long-term lease as mentioned, about 70 years lease, and approve long-term lease and tax incentive. Tax incentive is just 5 years tax-free, or some areas they are 7 years tax-free. Some industry they are some years free. And the local employees, local government also very available in Myanmar. So there are also this is the most good points of Myanmar investment law now. This is as above mentioned. Currently, you can lease to the lease by the authority of government, lease from the government 50 years of the option, and renew 2 consecutive of the 10 years each. Probability of market of Myanmar comes to second half of October 1997 because of the government cabinet change. In February 2006, Naypyidaw became a capital city of Myanmar. There also developed Yangon becomes the economic city. In July 2007, the new extension of the tax system, 15%, 2 years down, the decrease to 30% decrease to 15% for 2 years. And another times is 2009 to 2012 and decrease the tax again. This from 2009 to 2012, that's the second golden property period of the Myanmar. This also mentioned the decade of the first 1997, their first golden period, and then the Yangon city extend to the new town, extend to the new township such as North Takong, South Takong, East Takong, and Takong Sekan, Shuibida, Landaya, and their industrial zone. So they become living standard and resident in the new town, and they come the property market become good again. This slide is show the property price of last 10 years. As you see, at 2010, 1 square meter, this is based on the downtown of the Yangon, B Road. 1 square feet is 400,000 per square feet Myanmar jacks. It becomes increase the rate. The most highest point is 2014 and 15. They go to many 1,200,000 Myanmar jacks, and then slowly decrease in the price. Now 2020 is nearly 600,000 jacks. So from the highest point is decreased to 40%, roughly. This property price of last 30 years. The lower price is the 1987 and 1980 increased for 1992, 1997, and 2012 increased again. This exchange rate between the USD and Myanmar jacks. Now when you convert the most highest price of the lands are 2014 to 15. But at that time, the US dollar is nearly 800. 1 US dollar nearly 800 just. But from 2020 to 21, it is over 1,300. One last exchange rate is 1,324 and 50 round about that. So the exchange rate is approximately increased to 60 to 70%. So at around about 2000, year 2000, the USD is 800 million of just, you can convert to 1 million USD because 1 USD is 800 just. Now there are 1,360 million just. You can get 1 million USD because your 1 USD is 1,360 just. I want to say the rent price down to 40%, and exchange rate is up to 70%. So 800 million of the Myanmar jacks become the land price is decreased, so become 480 million jacks. And then the exchange is increased, so only 0.35 million USD you can got that land. So this means this time is the most suitable, most good times to invest in Myanmar. This is our sense of Bagan. Bagan is our ancient city at the center of the Myanmar, built at around about 80,000 by King Anoyata. This, as the Mr. Chuchat said, the new projects of Yangon downtown city. This is also the Yangon downtown city. This is a Tiluwa special economic city. Now it's developed by Japan. This is Jiaopyu, this by China project. The port. This is a sense of Inli. Inli is near. I live in Dangji, the capital of the Shan State. The Inli Lake is very near Dangji. This is a sense of this is a new project at the Heo Airport, just 22 miles from Dangji. The project is extended to international airport. Now this airport area, there are so many agricultural land in that area. This Inli. Thank you for your attention. This my conclusion of my presentation. Thank you.
Doctor, I have a question. Do you think the investment from China that prevails in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Myanmar, in the future, can they dominate our local market or not? Like I heard from Cambodia that many condominiums developed by Chinese investors are maybe more than those developed by local investors. But low-rise residents might be developed by local investor in Cambodia. So in this case, in the future, the market, real estate market, particularly apartments or condominiums in our countries will be dominated by China or not? What is your opinion, sir?
I think maybe in one time, China will be dominant in our country. It also depends upon the political policy. I think that's because
so
China,
in this case, if China, yes, I think they have a lot of buyers from foreign, from China who want to buy properties in our countries, because in China themselves, they may be able to lease property for 70 years already, only. But in Thailand and many countries, by basis, so many of them may come to buy and they will become the largest proportion of investors from foreign countries to replace Korea, to replace Japan, and to replace. Is it possible, sir?
Yes, I think so. Because Myanmar is also a virgin country. So many projects can do in our country.
Is this some worry? Like in Thailand, we also have many big developers from China coming to Thailand, but they are still not as big as a Thai developer. But in the future, probably they will become larger and larger. And particularly in the case of the Eastern Economic Corridor, in the Pattaya area, even the professionals like brokers or engineers or any other professionals, they can come to practice themselves. No need to have a local license. So this is something that may happen in the future. And are there many investors from China in? There should be a lot in Chan State where you stay. Is it right, sir?
Up to now, there is a little, not more. A little. That's very limitation.
Because of the.
Because
I saw.
Mostly they invest their agricultural land at the northern Shan State and Kachin, because more nearly to their country. At the southern Shan State, they are a little far. Southern Shan State is more closely to the Thai.
I see. Dr. Sampan, your Royal Majesty, Dr. Sampan, do you have any idea about Chinese investors into Southeast Asia? Because you are also expert in China. Any comments from Dr. Sampan? Do you hear me?
Don't want to comment because.
Sampan, are you still there?
A little difficult to comment.
In brief, so if we are foreigners from Europe or from USA or from any part of the world who want to invest in Myanmar real estate, which sector would you recommend, sir?
The agriculture and livestock, the two sectors, is most likely to invest.
But agriculture and livestock, maybe we are not expert in that field. We don't know how to grow trees, fruit trees, or don't know how to raise cattle or something. So it may be difficult. What about the commercial properties like hotels or shopping centers or something? Is it a good idea to invest in Myanmar?
Now, because the pandemic, the hotel and properties, the condominiums are very slow. They cannot grow, and the hotel are all are closed just for 1 year now. And now the school will arranged to be open, but not sure yet. Still now.
Oh, the school still closed.
Yes.
Still closed. In Thailand, we still close until maybe end of January or maybe longer. Yeah. But so far as we know, Myanmar has around 100,000 people infected by COVID-19. But your economy will still growing for 1 or 2, 3% this year, and also 3-4% next year. I mean 2021. What is the reason behind the growth amidst the pandemic?
The real estate is not much involved. I think the real estate is go on the slowly because before and at the COVID, before pandemic, the real estate is going to could be gold for 3 or 4 years since 2015, and most involved is the lower class of the some construction and some the industry of the dealer industry. The workers are lost of the job, and the transportation is most involved in our country, and the hotel and the tourism are mostly involved in our country.
And tourism must be really hard hit because of the pandemic. What do you help in Myanmar? What do they help those tourism industry like hotel or resort properties? What is the role of your government to help this sector amidst this pandemic?
Yeah, the government is to give the loan to small and medium enterprise only now.
Oh, I see. Give the loan also. Very good. Yeah. So, Dr. Sampan, you are back already. You are expert in China. Any comments or any view about Chinese investment or something? Kun Chuchat is still here, and also my boss, Mr. Budiasa, is still here also. And I see Mr. Budiasa invests a lot in Vietnam, in Cambodia. Any ideas to go to Myanmar with our colleagues from Myanmar? Maybe not yet. Okay. So if you don't have any comments, I think this session with 6 or 7 speakers are very fruitful, and we hope we will come back again. And we plan in FFC Thailand, we plan to have our FFC award again in this coming June. So if this COVID-19 is over, we hope to invite you all to be our honorable guest to come to Thailand to our celebration on this FFC award in 2021. Last year in 2020, we may be the only country who can organize the gala dinner for FFC award in August. But this year we hope to be in July. Hope to invite all of you to be our guests. There may be no more author comments. So since there is no more, Doctor, do you have any words to say? Anything else to say, sir? Dr. Sai Kwe, do you have anything to say?
No more, Mr. Savon. Say thank you only and see you again.
Yeah. Jesu Tembade. So thank you very much. Take good care of yourself out of the pandemic, and good health, prosperous. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
สวัสดีครับ
Okay.